the economy may be putting a halt on some travel plans, but this could be the perfect time to get yourself to Ireland. Here with more on why that's the case is Phil Ryan. He's the owner and tour guide for Inroads, Ireland. I was just looking at that Skycam thinking it kind of feels like Ireland outside today.
Yeah, you know, it's probably quite similar there at the moment. You know, it's having some weird weather there too. They've had some snow recently as well, but then it's sort of, the temperature's been going up and down. It's been kind of crazy the past few years, actually.
But you don't travel on your tours until, you said, May and September.
May to September, because really, you know, the daylight in Ireland, we're quite far north, as you know, and, you know, you get off season, the days are very short, it can be very windy, overcast and rainy, and it's really not the best time to be kind of like enjoying the beauty of Ireland.
Right.
A lot of things close down as well because of the off-season sort of populace with tourists, so you can miss a lot of things that you would otherwise, you know, see from May to September.
Well, for those of you who want to stick with the feeling you're having today that you could be someplace warm, we have pictures of Ireland that we can show while we talk about this. Now, tell me why it is maybe a good time. You're talking about prices being slashed over there because of the lack of tourists.
Yeah, well, the American economy really affects Ireland. Now, in many ways, Ireland is like the canary and the, you know, the mine shaft. You know, when things go bad in Ireland, you can start to see that happening in the States as well. But the tourist industry in Ireland is very dependent on the American tourists, of course, you know, because they have this great connection between each other. And so, you know, in the past year, you could already see the tourists declining, and many, you know, companies are reporting up to a 40% loss in hotels, and, you know, the bigger tour companies in particular. We were lucky in that we tend to avoid the major tourist zones, so we actually doubled the numbers last year, surprisingly enough.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we're not doing too bad, and hopefully we can repeat that, or at least, you know, keep it level this year. But because of this downturn, you know, you have people along the more traditional routes sort of looking at ways to sort of, well, bring back the American tourists and to keep things nice and happy. So they've been cutting a lot of prices in gift shops and restaurants and such.
So it may cost a bit, and it does, to get a plane ticket to get yourself over to Ireland. But while you're traveling over there, prices are getting cut. And Phil in Inroads, Ireland takes you on kind of the lesser known routes. You'll see the really important sites, but you won't have to deal with big, giant tourist groups, and some of these photos are just spectacular. And it doesn't even do a little bit of justice.
I know,
it's myself.
It's tough to choose photos because we've got so many beautiful photos of the country. It's just crazy beautiful, really. You know?
You sure do. And thank you so much again for coming in, as usual. Now, your next tour isn't for a couple more months. Of course, you can always go onto our web channel, NBC15.com, to get a link to find out more about how you can join Phil and his group. But also, in the meantime, he does talks. And you've got one coming up in a week. Tell us about it.
Right, next Tuesday at 7 o'clock at Broca on the Capitol Square, we're going to be doing a free talk on Irish myths and legends, and that's always a very popular subject in Ireland and people in the States, so definitely try and make it to that one. That should be really fun.
I know we did, I think, a segment with you on some of those myths at one point.
We
it was
did.
fun.
That's right, yeah.
So I wish I could go if I weren't going to bed. Phil from Inroads, Ireland, as usual, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Have fun. All right, back to you, Charlie.